Hey guys, happy couple here. In today's video, we are going to discuss some helpful advice for you from anybody who's been married for a while, which we have.
Check it out. Don't forget to subscribe. It's the little red button right there.
There.
You should do it.
On YouTube, right there. And hit the little bell.
Ding, ding.
So realize you're not always right, but you're also not always wrong, okay? There are times where you have to work through something. There are times that maybe there's a little bit of a rub or some friction. That's okay. Maybe you messed up on something. Okay. Just realize you're not always 100% right, and you don't have to be. And you don't have to make the other person wrong as a result of you being right.
This isn't like a battle and a competition of, okay, well, I'm gonna be right or I'm gonna make you wrong. You can both be right and wrong. You can learn. You can go, oops, let me fix this. All of these things are real life. When you are getting married, you oftentimes have a wedding registry. And you know, this is an interesting thing because sometimes you don't necessarily really know what you need. Like if you're getting your first home or you're moving out of your parents' place or out of a place with roommates that maybe they brought a bunch of kitchen stuff and now you're like
figuring out all the stuff you need.
There are so many detailed things that you may have never thought of or just kind of took for granted because it was there. Maybe ask some people around you, some married people, like, what do you put on a registry, and get some help.
Parents can be a good source for that too. They got a few things figured out.
Setting up a house for the first time.
You're gonna buy more stuff than you think.
A lot of things.
Yep.
Like a whisk.
A whisk.
A whisk.
Yep. You don't need to be selfish, although you can have your own time. You can have your own space and your own hobbies and all of that. But you guys are a team in marriage. You're a team. I don't know where that's from. It's just a thing now. Team. So be a team. Because you guys are working together on these things called life, where you're gonna actually help each other achieve your goals and achieve your joint goals together. It's a team.
When you get married, your life becomes very different in certain ways, but it's also the same in certain ways. Again, if you're like moving into a home for the first time together, obviously that's gonna be a big change, right? And that's a lot of new stuff. But let's say you've already been living together, now you get married, maybe not that many things change. So kind of go into it understanding that what does really change is you are so much more committed and committed in other people's eyes as well. Yeah. They go, oh, they're married. Like that is a real deal, sealed, done thing. But also like if you guys are creating your relationship. So you keep creating it, it keeps growing, but it's not like you hit the married button and everything you've been creating in your relationship suddenly changes into something else.
Like it's not the done. Like sometimes people feel like they're progressing in a relationship. You start dating and then they use the B word, boyfriend, and then you're moving to the next thing and the next thing, and all these things feel like a progression, and then you get to being married and you think that's the end of the progression. That's not. You're now building this thing that's going to be a long-term thing for your life. Yeah. And so what you actually do is now move that objective way out to the end of life in essence, and go, okay, good. All the way out here, what's the next thing we want to accomplish or achieve or do together or whatever?
So it keeps progressing and your life keeps changing, but it's not like this switch that gets flipped and your whole life switches, but there are changes. So it's, there's some differences, and there's some, like, you just kind of keep creating in the way you've been creating and just take that to the next level.
Be specific in things you're handling. If you're working through something, there's an upset or something you're working through, be specific. Doing generalities of like broad statements, like you always literally solve nothing ever.
Never.
Not ever.
Not once,
in the history of mankind.
That
never solved anything. The more specific you can get, the better it's going to be. You're going to cause less, oh, well, then you blah, blah, blah. Like all that starts to go away because you can actually say specifically what you're trying to address.
And you then are handling something real. It's not this untruth of it's always this way when it isn't. It's like this thing upset me. So you handle that thing, and then that thing is handled and it's done and the upset's gone. keeps it very simple. Keeping your own interests and pursuits in your life, your goals, is very important. You are creating in a marriage and in a relationship together, and your life together, and you're gonna have joint goals and joint friends and joint hobbies and joint activities, and that is all spectacular and very much part of creating a relationship. But also, if you have always done something that you love, it doesn't end because now you're married, right? Like, you are still fully allowed to have your life, your fun things, your activities that you find interesting, and so does your spouse. They totally also have that right. So you are still two individuals. Your lives are merging and becoming a unit and a team, but you don't then glom into one human being. Like, you are still two individual humans.
Even if you have the joint name.
Yes. It's just the last name. You still have your own first names.
Like Connolly, Raffi, so
Yep.
it's like Haffy.
Yep.
Yep. Even if you're a Haffy, you have you're two different people. Just saying. Being willing to communicate and just express what's going on is a really good idea, and being able to do that with your partner instead of with other people about your partner is probably a great idea. I haven't found too many things get resolved when you talk to somebody else about your issue with your partner. You can tend to get a lot of bad advice too.
So true.
Keep that in mind. And you'll see how you can actually use this to build a happier, stronger, long-lasting relationship.
We hope this helps. If you think that it is awesome, you should give it a thumbs up and share it with all of your friends, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.